On the southwest tip of England, on the Cornish coast, where rolling fields meet the sea, lies the Peep-Out Yard, home to the Cornwall Swimming Horses. Owner Chris Cook and his partner Emma Souch help those specially trained equines take people on an extraordinary journey into the azure waters of Mounts Bay to enjoy the thrill of riding bareback through the waves.
I was born in America, spent the first part of my life in Bermuda, and then when I was 11 we moved to St. Croix, the US Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, and that's where I got into horses. We were in the sea all the time anyway. We're like water children really, so we just swam horses in the sea. This is Tico. He's my parrot. He's been rehomed. The person who had him before couldn't keep him any longer, and it just, the way things happen, we've got a strong bond now, and he goes everywhere with me. Well, we've got 16 horses altogether, but some are young. They're just either growing or learning the business, so to speak. We've got a few older horses that we're either easing back their workload or they're properly retired. We don't keep them in stables. They live out 24/7. They're all hardy types.
Mariam Rasoulzadeh is the third member of the team and helps tend to the herd.
It all started with a donkey ride in London. We used to live in London, and age 1 in a little basket seat. And that was it really. My mum just said that every time it was time to leave, I just screamed. And then when we moved to Cornwall, she got me some lessons. And that was just with a lady that had some horses in a field that we used to drive past all the time. It wasn't a riding school. And it just went from there. I never stopped. It was one of those things, it's almost like in your blood in some funny way. We provide different riding activities for people of mixed abilities. So for all of our on-land riding, we only take advanced riders. We want people ideally who are kind of happy riding, keen, forward-going horses, as opposed to the trekking centre types that are a little bit more nose to tail. Our horses are brilliant, but they enjoy their job, they look forwards to it, and they want to take you out for a ride. So in that way, you have to kind of be up for it as well. And then our swimming with horses is catered to novice riders to advanced, so we get a real mixed bunch for that. Family groups where, you know, kids might ride and parents might watch, or whole families that ride, individuals that ride. It's really a mixed bag for the swimming.
I make my own bridles for the swimming purely because there's nothing else available on the market that would actually do the job that we need them for. Obviously leather and salt water don't go well together. Safety is a prime consideration of ours, as you can appreciate being in the water on a horse. So it's all designed with synthetic materials that won't rot and stainless steel fittings, and even to the point where the reins are held together with a bit of inner tube so that if anybody were to catch a limb, it just pulls apart so that nobody gets, you know, caught. The way we adjust our bridles, it's actually a seafarer's knot. It's called a sheet bend. But it just means that the bridles can be adjusted infinitely, so you're not going from hole to hole. You can make that bridle fit that horse, even that horse on the day. If their forelock's a bit big, you might need to loosen the bridle because it's pushing up on their mouth a bit. I just ended up making bridles myself because I couldn't find anything that fitted what I needed. It initially was a trial and error process, but we've now kind of refined it to a point where we know what we need and we know how to get there.
If it wasn't for the horses, we couldn't do what we're doing. So, you know, we love our horses. They're like workmates as well, you know, and they're just incredible. Every day there's something about them that, you know, just fills your heart with joy.
We're really lucky in that where we live, there's like a 2-minute ride down the road into the fields. And because we've been here long enough, we know all the people around here. We've got permission to ride through the fields to get to the beach. So that the whole thing now of cars on the roads is really a hard thing for horses to cope with because people don't understand. So the sooner you get off the road, the better. And of course, once you're in the sea or even on the beach, everything changes. There's no cars and everybody's pleased to see you.
Today we haven't got any clients with us, it's just us taking some horses for a training swim. It's always good to get them in, see how they're feeling about it. You know, we spend a lot of the early months of the season bringing on new horses, getting a couple in that maybe haven't had the work over the winter, just build up a little bit of fitness. Obviously it's a little bit cold at the beginning, so we tend to only be in the water for maybe 10 minutes max to start with, build it up from there. But yeah, today the sun's shining, it's warm, we're just going to go and have a swim with friends. Although the horses swim effortlessly, we want to make it as easy as possible for them. So in that way, when we swim the horses, we actually float above them. So we take our weight off their back, we lie forwards with our chests, let our legs float up behind us, and either hold on to a neck strap or a handful of mane, and they just pull you along, basically.
It's great for their feet, it's great for their legs, it's great for their musculature. We have people come swimming with us that are racehorse trainers, top dressage riders, and their first thought is, oh my God, I wish I could get my horse to do this. Because you're getting all that exercise without the pressure of being on the road or on hard surfaces. And because they're in the water, they really have to lift their legs beyond the normal range of movement, so it stretches the muscles.
The swimming for me, I think, is a real opportunity to see the horses doing something that you wouldn't necessarily see on a day-to-day basis. I think it really shows their power, although it might not look like much from the surface. If you get a chance to see what's going on underneath and you've got an understanding of horses and the water, actually, if you think about how hard it is for us to wade through, they just power through. It's really effortless, and the pace that they swim at, the way they move, everything about it is really quite powerful.
Seeing the riders and the clients being able to enjoy the experience of swimming and taking horses in the sea is an incredible experience for me, for us as a team, and being able to facilitate that, because for some riders it's fulfilling a dream, for other riders they realise it's going to help them with a confidence maybe.
Well, it ranges from people actually in tears, just the emotional thing of it, to somebody so excited, to people that thought that they would never be able to get on a horse again because they've had a bad experience. Every range of emotion except negative ones. We've never had a negative emotion from anybody. Every time it's so positive, everybody loves it. People get a bond with their horse when they're swimming because they're suddenly so dependent on the horse. And if you're a horse person at all, you spend all your time saying to the horse, trust me, do this thing, this silly thing like jumping over colored poles. Trust me, I want you to jump over this obstacle, or put a cart behind you and go down a busy road. Trust me. And then suddenly you're on this horse and you're going, ooh, I've got to trust you now. And it changes everything slightly and balances the equation, to be honest.
I really love my job. I mean, I can't, when I think about the other things that I could be doing, I can't really think of anything better, like my job is brilliant. Every time I take people for a gallop on the beach, I think if I had £1 for every person that said to me, this must be a dream job, I would be super rich. I'd have even more horses.